Hello everybody, War Wizard back with another video. Today we're going to talk about Gears of War. For those of you that have watched my channel, you've seen that I've talked about Gears of War many times. It's my second favorite video game franchise behind Mortal Kombat. Well, it's definitely up there. It's one of my top 5 favorite video game franchises. I've been extremely excited for Gears of War E-Day. I've been dying for some news about it, and Sunday they went through gameplay of it, the first gameplay reveal, and it looks amazing. I really like it. It looks really good. It looks like a return to form for Gears. So today I figured we could watch the first gameplay reveal of it, and I'll give my thoughts on it, what I think. Um so let's get into it. Like right off the bat, just with this, like right here, you can tell it's a return to like a more horror type, like the first 3 Gears of War was. Dark, gritty. I think the game looks amazing. The graphics are really, really good. Of course, the return of Marcus and Dom together, especially Dom. That was a big surprise for those of you that didn't see that trailer where Dom saves Marcus. And it looks like Locust version of Juvies from Gears of War 4 and 5. They're running around everywhere. And I'm not gonna lie, I really like this like post-apocalyptic, not post-apocalyptic. I guess this is the start of the apocalypse, but I really like this. Kind of reminds me of the first Last of Us. I kind of one complaint I have is I wish they didn't have the Gears of War 5 style. I mean, you can just see that gore just looks way better than Gears of War 4 and 5. I know a lot of people are probably like, who cares about the gore? It was just so immersive in the first 3 Gears of War games. Like, it was so realistic. In Gears of War 4 and 5, in the community, it's a running joke that the gore looks like red jello chunks. So this just looks so much better already. But anyway, this kind of reminds me of Last of Us 1, the first mission when you first see the infected taking everything over. So I really like this. This is really atmospheric. The Retro Lancer. I like that we get to see more of the civilization of Sarah before, everything started. The return of the Corpser. We already seen a tease of it. That's really cool. I mean, they tried their best in Gears 5 with the, oh my gosh, I can't remember what they're called. The enemies in Gears 5. The Swarm. But it doesn't match the Locust. Oh, look you see that? The lay down cover? So you can now lay down behind smaller cover? That's really cool. I really don't like that Gears of War 5 style reticle, hit marker. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of it. It's not the worst thing ever. It's a small complaint, but this just looks and feels like Gears of War. Retro Lancer charge. Boom. Oh man, I can't wait for this game. It looks so good.
That gear said they're stuck in the pay and save. Which way?
It's on the other side of those apartments. At least that thing carved us a shortcut.
The graphics are really nice. Gears of War has always had really good graphics, though. A lot of people thought this was Carmine in the live chat during the reveal. I knew it wasn't. The Carmine brothers are kind of young, so I knew they weren't really in the COG at this point, I don't believe. That's just a regular old COG soldier, and then, the accent gave it away. He has like an Australian accent or something. Like, look at that. Look at those graphics. Look at the lighting on the floor. This looks really good. I'm very, very excited. Me and my brother were watching this, and we played Gears together. It's pretty special to us, so we were like, look at that. This. We were like, whoa, that's awesome. I know some people. I consider myself an old head with Gears of War, but I know a lot of the old heads were complaining about this. Being able to jump over stuff like that, and I'm like, oh, look at this. They really pushing to show the gore in this game, because that was one of the biggest complaints like hardcore Gears fans had was, the tone down of violence for some reason. Look at this. This is so cool. And then this shows like there's like tag team finishers. That's pretty cool. That's not even pretty cool. That's really cool. Back to, blowing up the E-holes. Look at that. The movement, that's so cool. We needed something new. The movement definitely, I mean, why do you guys still want these same old, stuff? Like, I get it. I love Gears, but this new movement looks great. And they said wall bouncing will still be in the game, so those of you that are worried about that, I kind of was worried about that, I'm not going to lie, but they said it'll be back. They said, well, they didn't say that specifically, but they said classic Gears movement, and we all know that means wall bouncing. That was kind of their way of letting us know, hey. Now, this right here was such a cool moment. Making the Locust scary again, which is cool. You guys have to remember, they haven't faced the Locust before, so this is a different Marcus than we're used to. How he got the scar on his lip, that's really cool. Ah, this is such a cool moment. Fucking Ty is back. So not only do they give us Dom, but then they throw in Ty. This game is really, really gonna tug at the heartstrings. We'll finish it out the video. But you can tell it's gonna, like, look at the boomer. Look how big they are. The sliding, that's really cool. A couple of, this new monster right here, there's a couple new weapons. There's a grenade launcher. They're bringing back the breach shot, which I was super excited about. See the grenade launcher, oh no, I can't remember her name. The new female part of the squad, on the left, she's holding the new grenade launcher. It looks pretty cool. There's also a new shotgun that shoots like acid rounds. You see it briefly at the end there. But anyway, there's this former pro player. His name is Red Icy, and he's been talking about Gears E-Day and his predictions, and he predicted that sliding would be in the game, and he was right. And it looks really good in my opinion. There's a longer gameplay deep dive I can go over if you guys want. They show a lot on there. But in my opinion, it looks really good. It looks like a return to form for Gears of War, and it's a perfect reset because, Gears 4, people were like, it's okay. It's like mediocre. Like the campaign was decent. But then the multiplayer was very, very divisive. That was like the beginning of the downfall for Gears multi. Well, technically that's Judgment, but Gears 4 didn't really help anything. It was okay. Like everything in that game was just okay. And then, they have us playing as JD, Marcus Phoenix's son. And then all of a sudden, Gears of War 5, they try to make JD like a bad guy. And like, you were playing as Kate and Dell. And it was really weird. Like, they should have let us get invested in everybody the way they were doing. Not jump years ahead and like it's they don't really tell us anything, and then they try to tell us that JD's like a bad guy, he did something horrible, and Kate is, I don't know, it was just weird. They let the Gears of War 4 left off with a huge cliffhanger that made everybody like, oh, what's gonna happen? And then Gears 5 was just kind of like, I don't know. A lot of people didn't like Gears 5, especially the multiplayer. I think the multiplayer in Gears of War 5 is one of the worst behind Judgment. Judgment is the worst Gears of War game, in my opinion, especially multiplayer wise. But Gears 5 is the second worst. I played it a lot, but like the movement sucked. It was too ridiculous. Like you can literally shoot Nasher shells out of your ass, basically. Like it was just a little too ridiculous. Like Gears of War 3 and stuff had really good movement, but something about Gears 5, the movement's just too much, and the angles that you can shoot the shotgun from and gib someone is just too forgiving, too ridiculous. They try to do multiple different balancing tuning changes for Gears 4 and 5. They had competitive Nasher shotgun and then casual Nasher shotgun, and I'm just like, just keep it the same. Like it just they were trying to get more people to come back, and you know, if it's a good game, people will play it. Period. Gears of War 1, 2, 3. They were great. They're considered great, and people played them. So just make a good game. Stop trying to cater to everybody. If casual players, if the game is good, even if they suck, they're still going to play it because it's a good game. I like, I don't know. Anyway, Gears of War EA looks like a return to form. I did hear some news that this might be a me personal thing, but they're going back to 4v4 multiplayer, kind of like they did with Gears 5. In Gears 5, I can't remember when the patch came out, but they patched it so it was 4v4. I think some casual modes is still 5v5. I personally like the 5v5 better. When they added 5v5 in Gears 3, the game, to me, even though I loved Gears of War 1 and 2 multiplayer, when Gears 3 added 5v5, it just felt better. It felt more action packed, more fast paced. I personally liked 5v5 better. Even though it's only one more person on each team, it just feels better, in my opinion. I'm not a huge fan of going back to 4v4, but again, I still loved those games, so I'll still play it. It'll be fine. It's a kind of a small gripe, but I prefer 5v5 over 4v4. Maybe it's just a me thing. I don't know why. I just like 5v5 better. Ever since they added 5v5, the game feels better to me. Um, but yeah, the game looks amazing. I'm so excited. A lot of Gears of War content is coming. I'm going to be playing through the campaigns again with my wife and stuff because she needs a refresher on it. Going to be playing multiplayer with my brother and my friend until Gears 8A comes out. And then when Gears E-Day comes out, tons and tons and tons of content. You guys have no idea how much I grind Gears of War, but you're going to see it. And I'm very excited. So there's a beta August 6th, and I'm praying that the multiplayer is good because I want to grind Gears of War multiplayer again so badly. But unfortunately, if it's like Gears 5, which I don't think it will be, judging by the gameplay so far, even some of the multiplayer snippets that they showed at the gameplay reveal, it doesn't look like Gears of War 5. So that's a plus, but if it's like Gears of War 5, I honestly don't. I'll play it a good amount, but not like I want to. I'm so tired of Gears of War 5, like it's not even a joke. And Gears Reloaded isn't great because it was just basically a port of Gears of War Ultimate, which is just a remaster of a remaster. It's weird. I don't know why they would do that. They should have just made Gears of War 2 remastered. But there's a lot of controversy about it was going to be on PlayStation, but now it's not. A lot of people are upset about that. I would prefer it to be on as many platforms as possible, like PlayStation 5, Xbox, PC, because that means more players. And let's be honest, PlayStation has way more sales, way more players than Xbox does right now. Maybe Gears of War is going to be, you know, the game for Xbox right now that makes people buy an Xbox again. And because they want to play it, because people are going to be like, oh, it's so amazing, you got to play it. Hopefully that's what happens, but I still if it's on PlayStation, Xbox, PC, more people will play it. Now, that being said, I get it with the way PlayStation has been lately. Like I heard the some people with from Steam and Xbox and stuff like that, they said working with PlayStation is kind of a headache because like PlayStation's so full of themselves, they're like, "Oh, we don't really need, other consoles and stuff like that." And just, it's just I heard bad things. They're probably just rumors, but that's what I've heard. And the way so PlayStation's no longer supporting PC, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's a good move by PlayStation." Like they're all about exclusives. But then when Xbox is like, "Well, we have Gears of War E-Day, and it's an Xbox exclusive." It's also on PC, by the way, but it's an Xbox console exclusive, meaning that PlayStation 5 and Nintendo will not have it. It'll be only Xbox and PC. Console exclusive, I think they mean that's the only console it's going to be on is Xbox. PC is technically not a console, so. But anyway, when they say Gears of War E-Day is an exclusive, an Xbox exclusive, all of a sudden it's a problem. All the PlayStation players, oh, I can't believe it. They're so angry, and I'm like, okay, how are you gonna praise PlayStation for abandoning PC and stuff, and not having anything on Xbox? But then when Xbox is like, we're gonna go back to console exclusives, you guys throw a fit. That makes no sense to me. That's stupid. But like I said, I would prefer it to be on everything because that just means more people playing. More people, more money Gears of War would make to continue to support a franchise that we love. But those are my only critiques so far. I guess I'll talk about the elephant in the room. The losers online, on Twitter and stuff like that, talking about the new female and male. Um, oh my gosh, I gotta look up their names because that's gonna bug me. It's gonna bug me because I don't want to keep calling them the female and male. Okay, Mags Carter, who is the woman, and Lucas Reyes, um, are the two new squad members with Marcus and Dom. Now, I don't know if they're actually part of their squad or if they become part of the squad because they find each other during E-Day. Like, because, they show them drinking at the bar and stuff, Marcus and Dom, and maybe they were there also. And when all this happens, they just kind of like, hey, we're all Gears, let's team up. The losers on Twitter and stuff trying to say Gears of War is woke. You idiots don't even know what that word means anymore. You just say it. Oh, she has short hair. She's clearly lesbian. Who gives a shit? Who cares? Oh, she's not hot. What about Bernie? Like, I'm not going to sit here and say Bernie's ugly, but she's older. She wasn't super hot. And none of the women besides Queen Mira had, like, huge boobs and asses and dressed scantily. So I don't get the rage. I don't get it. She has short hair and she's black. Who gives a fuck? Get over it. Get over it. It's so ridiculous. Get a life. Maybe she has short hair because they're in the middle of a war. Did you ever think about that? And then people are like, oh, Lucas Reyes, he's Hispanic. Yeah, Dominic Santiago, are you kidding me? You guys are fake fans. Shut the fuck up. Don't play it. Don't come over to our game. Just shut up. Period. Like, you don't even know that the second main character besides Marcus Phoenix is Hispanic. And what about Cole? He's black. Stupid. Shut up. Ridiculous. There's always been a female squad member in a lot of the Gears of War games. Gears of War Judgment, Gears of War 3, uh, Gears of War 4, Gears of War 5. Like, get over it. Even the Gears of War 3 DLC. It's ridiculous to me. Like, that to me, if you say that in my comments, I'm not going to respond. I honestly might just block you. Like, because your intelligence is extremely low and you don't actually care about the game. You just want to complain. I guarantee most of the people complaining about it don't even play Gears of War. They might have played like one or two of the games, and that's it. Another thing they talked about was Horde mode, a new Horde mode that to me sounds awesome. Up to 12 players. It's called Horde Siege. Bigger maps, a lot more enemies, a lot more tougher enemies. I'm That sounds really exciting to me. I know a lot of people are complaining, but again, how many times do you just want the same old Horde mode with just 4 people, This sounds way cooler to me. And 12 people buying upgrades and, building up a base, that sounds awesome. We're going to be fighting way bigger enemies. The enemies sound apparently are going to be tougher. It sounds awesome to me. I was kind of hoping they would tease like a beast mode thing. That'd be kind of cool to see that come back. Um, what else? I'm hoping that they talk more about the multiplayer here soon because I really want to see some of the some wall bouncing and stuff. And then they kept showing the breach shot and the long shot, but whoever was playing, I don't know if they did it on purpose because they want people to experience in game, but he kept missing headshots. It was bugging me and my brother so much. We were like, please land a headshot. I want to see what it looks like. I want to see if it's that same satisfying crunch noise and the head just, into a blood and bone. Really wanted to see that. I don't know if he was missing on purpose or whatever, but he could not land headshot. Maybe it was on purpose. I don't know. Another thing I want to talk about. So in the books, Dom's brother, they all go to the Pendulum Wars together. They met. Marcus was kind of an outcast in school, and that's how they met, was in school, and they actually became, a lot of people don't know that Marcus and Dom's, oh my gosh, I keep forgetting names. Jeez Louise, guys, I am so sorry. Sitting here talking about how big of a fan I am, and I can't even remember Dom's brother. It's like right on the tip of my tongue too. Carlos. So Marcus and Carlos were actually the best friends, and Dom was there. He was also a best friend with Marcus, but it was mostly Carlos that came to Marcus's aid, and then they were all three like friends and hung out, but Carlos is actually the one that became friends with Marcus, not Dom. Like I said, Dom was friends with Marcus, but it was because of Carlos. They all went to the Pendulum Wars together. For those of you that don't know what the Pendulum Wars are, that's the war for emulsion between the COG and the UIR. That was going on for a long, long, long time before they found out about the Locust. Carlos dies. I hope this isn't a spoiler, but I really hope that they show that in the game. I know they talk about it because in the trailer, or not in the trailer that we just watched, but the gameplay reveal, they talk about it. That's why they're at the bar. They're talking about it. So I'm hoping that there's some sort of like flashback mission showing it. That'd be kind of cool to play through that and see it. It'd be more impactful than just talking about it. Um, I hope there's a little bit of Pendulum War stuff at the beginning. That'd be really cool. And then I'm pretty sure we all know how it ends. At least I think I know how it ends. It's going to be when Marcus disobeys orders to go try to save his dad. And I think that's where it's going to end, which then leads into Gears of War 1. So that'd be really cool. It's going to be really cool to see the horror of the locusts before people knew what they were. So you see Marcus getting beat up a lot in a lot of the trailers, and it's because they don't know what they're fighting yet. They just know that they have to fight them. They don't really know, their weaknesses. They don't know exactly how strong they are. They didn't even know what the corpser was at first. If like when you're watching the trailer, they never say corpser. They just say what the hell is that and stuff like that. So they don't really know what they're fighting, which is cool. It's to make the locust scary again. And all they keep talking about is going back to Gears of War roots, with at the same time adding a few new things, which is great. We need new things while also going back to the core of Gears of War. I think it looks great. I was very nervous about seeing the gameplay because I was so afraid that it was just going to look like Gears of War 4 or 5, like same old stuff, just maybe a few new weapons, but there's a lot of good new stuff. Going back to the more dark, gritty, scary type atmosphere, more realistic violence, and it just looks like a very immersive, good game. I'm a huge Gears of War multiplayer fanatic, so I really want the multiplayer to be good. I can't tell you guys how much I really want that. I want to grind a Gears of War game again. I miss doing that. I have no doubts that I really think the campaign's just going to be great. I really do, just based off the gameplay and stuff. But the multiplayer, I'm a little worried about. I hope they don't completely abandon their identity of Nasher and Lancer combat with wall bouncing and good movement, and but at the same time you want to go pick up the special weapons like grenade launchers, the boom shot, the sniper, the torque bow, stuff like that. I really think this is going to be the return of form to Gears. I really hope the multiplayer is going to be great. Um, but yeah, let me know what you guys think. I'll probably do the deep dive into that because that's like a 20-minute video or more, or of them like showing all the gameplay and talking about it. We'll probably do that tomorrow. I just wanted to show you guys the first gameplay reveal they showed and go over it with you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comment. Are you excited? What are your worries? What do you want to see the most? If anyone says, "Oh, woke," you're getting blocked. I don't even want to deal with it. I don't want to hear it because that, like I said earlier, that just means your intelligence is extremely low. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't even care about the game. So you might as well just not even waste your time commenting if you're just gonna say something stupid like that. But yeah, game looks great. I'm gonna start. I think me and my wife are gonna start playing Gears One. I'll be streaming that and uploading it on YouTube, and we'll play Gears of War Reloaded campaign. Then go through Gears 2, Gears 3, probably Gears Judgment, Gears 4, Gears 5. Even though I hate Gears 5's campaign, there's just too much backtracking in that game. But yeah, I'm very excited. I'm also going to be making content for the UFC game coming Friday. I kind of want to. I kind of hate the EA UFC games, especially recently. Like the first two games were all right, but then it's been like the same thing. But this new game, the stand up is actually a lot better now. That there's actually power in the game. Like you can actually get more drops, rocks, and knockouts far more consistently. It's no longer feels like Rock'em Sock'em Robots, at least the beta anyway. I don't know. Hopefully they don't change that in the full game. But I kind of want to grind some Gears or some EA UFC ranked just to mess around, see what happens while at the same time playing Gears of War. So lots more content coming. I know I'm mostly known for Mortal Kombat, but like I said, my recent video I talked about how Mortal Kombat looks like it's going to be having an announcement soon. Ed Boon's been teasing stuff on, they've been doing tournaments, and they had the whole NetherRealm Legacy tournament thing at Combo Breaker. They've been doing competitions on like Twin Galaxies and stuff like that for Mortal Kombat. And so it just kind of seemed like they were coming to an announcement, but now, Summer Game Fest is over and all that. It's kind of went dead quiet again. So I'm thinking we're probably gonna have to wait till the Game Awards. Maybe we'll get a surprise announcement. I doubt it. Like on a random day or something. If we get an announcement this year, it's probably gonna be Game Awards, which kind of sucks because that means we're not getting a new game until next year, like for sure at the earliest. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, it's because of the merger between Paramount and WB." I don't think that's true because now there's a lot of governors and stuff trying to block it, the merger. And so WB is definitely not just sitting on their hands hoping the merger goes through. They're going to be trying to make some money. They announced Wolf Among Us 2. Telltale is owned by WB. So I don't know why people think, they're just going to sit there and not doing anything. Especially with all the announcements that people are trying to sue them and block them from the merger. So WB might just have to stay its own company. And they know that, so they're not going to take any chances and just not release anything hoping for the merger to go through. That's kind of a stupid take, honestly. I think they didn't show anything because they just aren't ready yet or something. So maybe it has something to do with the merger, but I don't know. Like I said, there's people trying to block it. It's not a finalized deal yet. They still need to make money. They still want to make money. So if they have games ready, they're probably going to announce it. But anyway, yeah, that's why I'm kind of focusing on other games right now. I've been trying to play some more Mortal Kombat, but I'm gonna be honest, like I was getting excited, and the movie kind of brought my love back, and I was grinding for a little bit, but then no new announcements. So I was just kind of like, do I really want to keep playing MK1? And MKX is super fun. I've been playing it for the Twin Galaxies challenge, which I'm pretty sure the guy in first place is cheating, but that's a whole different story. Um, but I started playing MKX again, and I was like, man, that's really fun. But then, I started playing it more and more, and I was like, I feel like I've done everything on this game. Like, I love it, but I don't know. I'm just not in the mood to play Mortal Kombat right now. I kind of want to play some new games, grind some competitive on other games. Especially MK1 right now, it's kind of hard, especially like at night to find consistent matches. Like sometimes I'll be sitting there for like 10 minutes looking for a Combat League match. And then casual matches is just, ugh, playing that is not fun. It's just one and done people and, people dodging you because you're a record and just. But anyway, yeah, Gears of War E-Day, super excited. Looks great. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm very excited. I think it looks awesome. If you're one of those incel losers that, is trying to say it's woke or whatever, just, I don't want to hear it. Don't even waste your time. But yeah, looks awesome. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you all tomorrow for another Gears of War video.